Hello, my loves. It's Brittany Taylor here, and in this video series, I want to talk about my favorite planet, Jupiter. Okay? And just before we start, I want to show you this book that has been like my Bible for Jupiter for years now, probably about 4 years since I've got this book. It's called Exploring Jupiter: The Astrological Key to Progress, Prosperity, and Potential, drawing on the source of self-confidence and successful risk-taking to achieve your personal goals, by Stephen Ario. He is the best. This is the best book. Get this book, get this book, get this book, get this book. Okay, you guys? So, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is a planet in your natal chart. Jupiter is the biggest planet, actually, that there is, I believe, and this is actually a great symbol to Jupiter's bigness. Jupiter in your natal chart is the planet where you feel expanded when you express those energies. You feel opened up, you feel enthusiasm, you feel meaning in life, you feel hope, you feel excitement, and most importantly, and what a lot of astrologers, and actually I don't even know if they mention this in that particular book, is you feel joy when you are expressing the qualities of your Jupiter sign. And of course, I am a joy coach. My whole thing is living with joy and the joy of living. So really, what's so key to me is looking at a person's Jupiter sign as kind of a guideline on how this person can experience the most joy in their life that's possible. So each Jupiter sign is going to have a different expression of joy, and also the Jupiter sign can show the mode of learning, so how your brain works when you're taking in new information. That's also shown by Mercury as well, but here's the difference. So Mercury more represents the lower mind, so this is the rational mind, this is the logic, okay? And people that are strongly Mercury dominated are going to always want to see it to believe it, whereas people that are strongly Jupiter dominant, or Jupiterian, or however you want to call it, they're going to be the people that they believe it before they see it. They believe in themselves. They believe that there must be something greater. So people with a strong Jupiter in their natal chart can actually be quite religious. And Jupiter does represent religion. And but it can go beyond that, because a lot of people today are awakening to more of a sense of oneness, and it's not so much like a belief in just one's religion. It's like now we're starting to have this understanding that, hey, maybe we're all connected, and we're starting to understand spiritual truths. But traditionally, Jupiter did represent religion, okay? So the people that are, almost like the religious pushers, actually could be quite Jupiterian, the people going door to door. What do they call those people? The Jehovah's Witness, or like people that believe so strongly in their own religion that they need to tell you about it, okay? That's a Jupiterian quality, because like even some of the religious people that how they don't even go by logic. Like you can talk to a Jupiterian person all you want about logic, and although Jupiter represents open-mindedness, it's like they're open, but nothing will ever change their mind, which is very different, actually, to Mercury, where the actual energy of Mercury is very fluid and open and changing, possibly. Like if we hear some new information and, you're a strongly Mercury-dominated person, you could change your mind. Because, now maybe you've heard something else, and now you want to look at it from all angles, whereas Jupiter is open, but it's actually not an energy that wants to change or will change their beliefs for you. It's more of the preaching. They want to teach you, okay? They've got something to tell you, and if you have something to tell them, they don't necessarily want to hear that, right? And like they'll hear it, but it's not going to really change anything. But so yeah, Jupiter can represent religion, and also, yeah, Jupiter represents your faith in life. What keeps you going? What gives you meaning? And people that are strongly Jupiterian, they always are having this belief that like good things happen to me. And really, people that have a lot of Jupiter in their chart, they believe in the power of positive thinking. And really, on a deeper level, the power of positive thinking is creating their successful lives. So people that they believe in themselves, they believe in life, they do better, right? And people that believe in the power of positive thinking often have it work for them, whereas the people that don't really believe in the power of positive thinking, obviously it doesn't really work as good for them, right? But Jupiter does need to be balanced with Saturn, okay? So Saturn is kind of like the opposite of Jupiter. Saturn is the contraction, whereas Jupiter is the expansion. Saturn shows where we're a little bit more pessimistic, where we need the realism. We have to get real with our life. And to have too much Jupiter, which is all the faith and fiery enthusiasm, without the balance of Saturn, can kind of show someone who is what do they call it? Like a gambler who never quite, gets anything done. So the person who has too much Jupiter going on, not enough Saturn, may give you all these plans and promises for a wonderful life and then never take any practical, concrete action to achieve all of that. So people with too much Jupiter, not enough Saturn, are all talk and not enough practical application. And actually I can relate to that a lot because my Jupiter is super strong. This light is way too bright. I'm moving it. My Jupiter is very strong. I have Jupiter in Sagittarius in the 9th house. It's kind of like doubled. And that's another thing. People that have Jupiter in Sagittarius, they go overboard sometimes with their Jupiter. Like, if you have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart or a lot of Pisces, the two Jupiter-ruled signs, although Pisces is also ruled by Neptune as well, but if you have a lot of Jupiter, a lot of Sagittarius or Pisces, you can tend to go over the top on things. And so people with Jupiter and Sagittarius can really overdo it, overspend, overdrink, overpromise, but not necessarily overdeliver on the promises, because there would have to be a balance of Saturn energy as well, which is why quite often in the natal chart when we have the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, okay, so Jupiter conjunct Saturn, or even some of the actually difficult aspects between Jupiter and Saturn, like the square or the opposition, we can actually see people that are quite successful. And of course, the trine or the sextile between Jupiter and Saturn would be fucking awesome to have, because then we have a good balance there. But yeah, the people that have a good balance between Jupiter and Saturn, or even Sagittarius and Capricorn in their natal chart. I know a lot of people that have a strong domination in their chart of Sagittarius and Capricorn energies that are wildly successful. Or Pisces and Capricorn, or Sagittarius and Pisces, because with Pisces and Sagittarius, we have the dreamer, we have the optimist, we have the person who believes in people and believes in life. More Sagittarius. I feel like Pisces can kind of get bogged down in some emotional stuff. But Sagittarius is the quick mover on into the new positive things. And, we have the ability to have this foresight into what our lives are going to be. And, we believe in life, we believe in God, perhaps. And Pisces, we can also see the religion as well. We believe in God or spirituality, we believe in the universe or something. But then with the proper Saturn in our chart as well, we can actually plan it out and say, okay, this is how I'm going to put my dreams into reality. These are the plans, these are the notes, these are the people that are going to help me, and you can actually get some of the practical application when you have a good balance between Jupiter and Saturn in the natal chart. So ideally, you would like to have both. Because, yeah, one without the other is no good. And then too much Saturn without Jupiter, you're just miserable. It's all work and no play and no hope. And it's just the boring, the boringness of life. So that wouldn't be good either. But But yeah, it's a really good idea to look into your Jupiter sign, because this is what's going to make you feel joy. This is what's going to make you come alive. And, you know, astrologers, they do consider Jupiter as the great benefic. Okay, the great, is that how you say it? Benefic. I don't know. Which means it is a hugely beneficial influence in astrology. Like, it expands everything, and it's kind of like your good luck charm. And some astrologers would say, like, if you have a lot of positive Jupiter aspects in your natal chart, that you are being blessed for good deeds in a past life. And that very well could be. But it also could just be that you have the power of positive thinking. Who did they give as an example? Dale Carnegie, you know, who created that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He's a speaker and author, a very successful man who, you know, talked on the power of positive thinking. He had the Sun conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius, which makes a lot of sense for the type of work that he did. So Jupiter people with a lot of Jupiter and Sagittarius in their chart naturally are speakers, teachers, preachers, but they do hold tight to their ideas. Like, they're open to ideas, but they're not really going to change their mind. This isn't like really the progressive, like, free-thinking people necessarily, because, like I said, like, a lot of people with a lot of Jupiter are into, like, old school religion, right? But, you know, those people that do stick with what they believe, they use their belief to have a meaningful life. These are people that are strongly Jupiterian. So I hope this was helpful. This is just a little intro video to Jupiter, and in my next video I'm going to go into more Jupiter and all of the elements. So thank you for joining. Love you all. Hey people, it's Brittany Taylor here, and in this video I'm going to talk about Jupiter in fire signs and how people with Jupiter and fire signs express their Jupiter, so their joy. What makes them feel excited to be alive? So Jupiter in Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo have probably more self-confidence than the rest of the Jupiterian folks. These are the people that love to express their fiery, dynamic energy, and they usually like attention. They're usually, a little bit more confident than sometimes other people would like. You know, they have sort of a larger than life personality in some cases. So what makes them feel joy in being alive is risk-taking and doing impulsive actions and sort of like pushing the envelope and like doing kind of the outrageous things. They're usually quite physically active. They usually like sports. They usually have a unique personal style, and they like to be noticed for this. And they're often kind of the teaching, preaching type, for sure. So they do get great joy and fulfillment out of telling other people what the fuck is up and what they need to be doing. So there's really, they don't really like to take the back seat. Like, I mean, unless there's a strong Pisces or like water sign emphasis, these people are kind of the big shots. They like to tell everybody else what's up. And yeah, they love risk-taking. Sometimes they could be a little bit too impulsive for their own good, a little bit too risk-taking, but they love daring. They love to just say things and do things that other people are afraid to, and that's kind of what gives them their joy in life, okay? So they're probably the easiest to spot out of any of the other Jupiter signs, people with Jupiter and fire. Because, yeah, there is that larger-than-life personality, but sometimes they have so much fiery enthusiasm and faith, but not enough practical application. They need to be balanced with some Saturn energy, for sure. So, like, you know, sometimes they may have so many big dreams and goals, but they don't, you know, have any way to make any of them come true, or they haven't figured that part out, or they don't take enough time to actually figure out how to achieve any of these great big dreams or goals. So that's a little bit about Jupiter and fire signs and how they express themselves. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Love you guys. Hey people, it's Brittany Taylor here, and in this video I'm going to talk about Jupiter in air signs and how they feel joy, how they learn new things, and how they express their higher mind, because Jupiter is connected with the divine mind, which is the mind of God, okay? And when we're really tapped into our Jupiter energy, we are connected with the mind of God, with the mind of our soul, because our soul is always connected to our God presence, or our I am presence. Okay? So I just had a nap. Don't mind me and my nighty. I just woke up. I'm like, I have to talk about Jupiter. I love Jupiter. I love Jupiter. So people with Jupiter in air signs, they perceive the world through generally like an open-minded, curious lens. Like they get joy out of interacting with different types of people and, moving around the short trips, right? Especially Gemini, obviously. But Libra is the most conservative of the bunch, okay? Which is surprising. Like you think, oh, Libra, they're so easygoing. But no, people with Jupiter and Libra have a strong sense of like justice, which can sometimes lead them into this behavior of like, judging based on what's right or wrong, although generally they are open to most people, and they enjoy social interaction hugely. Like they live for it. They need people, and they need that one-on-one time with people. Like they love that. Jupiter and Aquarius are probably the most broad-minded of the bunch. They love interacting with all different types of people. They love doing kind of rebellious, eccentric things, and saying things that other people aren't saying, and just kind of being like, well, I don't give a fuck, right? Jupiter and Gemini are probably the quickest witted of the whole bunch. They just, there's a really lighthearted, funny quality about them. They're great writers, and they're very good at expressing themselves eloquently. I've known a lot of guys with Jupiter and Gemini that just like talk so fucking much, but they're very intelligent, and they're very good at putting their words in writing. And actually, like a lot of rappers may have this placement. So the person with Jupiter in Gemini contacts the higher mind through their actual rational mind, if that makes sense. So the air sign Jupiter people, they need people, really. Like they need, and not emotional connection though. They actually can be very emotionally shallow if there's not an abundance of water in the charts. They can really relate to people on a mental level, but have sort of like a mental understanding and compassion, but not being able to relate to, like, say, the person crying over there. Like, it would probably be the person with the water sign Jupiter or the water sign emphasis who's gonna, help the crying person. Whereas the Jupiter and the air sign person is gonna be like, well, you could try reading this book. It might help you. But like when you're crying, that doesn't always make you feel better. If someone says, just, hey, read this book, right? You're like, just be there for me. Which the person with the air sign Jupiter can have some difficulty with. And people can actually bother them about, oh, you're not deep enough, or like, but they're very mentally deep, and they're actually geniuses. And I really want you, like, if you have your Jupiter in an air sign, to just acknowledge the fact that you're a fucking genius, okay? You're a genius living in human form, because you are so connected with the divine mind of God, which is your soul. So it's a really good idea to express yourself through writing and speaking, and realize that your insights are usually right on about situations, and you have a great mental telepathy and mental intuition. You can pick up thoughts from other people, and this is how you receive knowledge and wisdom as well. You're very in the mind. So yeah, I love people with Jupiter and air signs. It's a great placement. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll be back super soon.